later.
Moving on to our third speaker, we have Rosalie Kahn, and the title of the chapter is The Afterlife of Francis Stephan. The title of the book is Eternal Love, the Austrian Connection. It's fiction on reincarnation. Rosalie, go ahead.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for this lovely invitation. I'll be reading a chapter from my published book, Eternal Love, regarding past lives. It takes place in the 1700s in Vienna. The scene is with two people who have passed on. Francis Stephan was dead. Thank heaven it was fast, he thought. What? Was he talking to himself while dead? What in the world is going on? Where was he? It took him a minute. He shook his head and wiped his eyes. He was in a field of beautiful yellow flowers, his favorite. In the distance, he saw a large white house. He knew he was dead. He remembered the severe sharp pain in his chest, and taking Teresa's hand, it all went black after that. Teresa. With the thought of her name, a deep sadness encompassed him, along with a feeling he was not used to having, regret. With just that one thought, Francis was transported, both physically and emotionally. He was now inside the sparsely furnished house. He could hear a woman crying and knew it was Teresa. He sat down on a plain wooden chair. What had he done? He had caused his beloved wife to suffer in silence. She was always so loving and kind. Now that he was gone, he suddenly realized she was mourning for all the lost time he had neglected her. He saw it also clearly. He had left her alone during most of her pregnancies. Heavens! Was he doomed to an afterlife of hell, suffering for his treatment of Teresa? Francis felt faint. He didn't mean to hurt her. In his lack of awareness, he had no idea what the effects of his philandering would do to her. He lowered his head and sat there for a very long time. Suddenly, he felt a gentle hand on his shoulder. It was a young woman wearing a flowing white dress and a pink hat. She had the most beautiful smile he had ever seen. She looked at him with such love and tenderness that he felt stirrings in his heart. Again, a new sensation filled his being. These feelings were not sexual. They came from his heart. Hello, she said, and her voice was like music. I am Lizzie, and I am here to help you in your transition. He couldn't speak. For the very first time ever, Francis was speechless. It's all right, Francis. We'll just take a moment at a time. Perhaps you would like some refreshments. He followed her into the living area of the house, and with her presence, everything changed. The house had beautifully colored furniture and matching drapes with blue and white vases. Everything sparkled now. He was feeling dizzy and sat down on a very comfortable chair, which hadn't been there before. Lizzie was preparing some things in the small but cozy kitchen, singing a sweet song that went deep into his soul. Wonderful, enticing odors emanated from the kitchen. It smelled like Christmas. She invited him to join her in the living room and lit a fire in the hearth. It gave the room a golden glow. She poured a ruby red wine, the likes of which he had never tasted before. I am dead, right? She laughed so beautifully that he laughed too, albeit nervously, and it felt so good. Well, you have left the earth plane and you have moved on to another dimension. Yes, you are dead, but nothing really dies, Francis. And that is why I am here, to show you and to teach you so that you understand. I'm so tired, Lizzie. Of course you are. There's plenty of time. I'll show you to your room and you can rest, and I'll be here when you get up. Lizzie and Francis spent a great deal of time together from that point on. They took long walks in the gardens, which changed colors according to their moods. Francis began to understand the true meaning of life, and that without judgment, he had been shown he had not been the loving husband he could have been during his time with Teresa. He felt no guilt, for he understood that that was not the purpose of Lizzie's teachings. In time, he came to see that he did not express true love for his wife and had caused her harm. It all had to do with loving himself and being part of something divine. He realized he had a great deal to learn. His favorite day with Lizzie was when she explained to him that he could go back to Earth as a child and be reborn. He had heard Teresa often talk about reincarnation. He had never really been interested in this subject. Now he was all ears. The best news was that Lizzie told him he could meet Teresa again if that was his heartfelt intention, and show her all the love he had not done in their life together. Lizzie was truly enjoying her time with Francis. She was so happy that she had been assigned to him. She loved his enthusiasm when she said he could return to Earth and meet up with the soul of Teresa at another time. She didn't have the heart to tell him yet that it didn't mean that they would necessarily be together forever or have another marriage in the next life. But she knew that they would see each other again and that he would do the right thing. Before they parted, Frances asked Lizzie the question she had been longing to answer. Lizzie, did I know you in the life with Teresa? Yes, you did. And Lizzie smiled broadly. But who were you then? I was your firstborn daughter, Maria Elizabeth. Lizzie, I've been watching over you since I was 4 years old when I died. Frances and Lizzie then hugged, and as they did, the love they gave each other formed a huge energy field, not only around them, but it connected with all whom they had loved. This energy of love then traveled to the far reaches of the earth, and every person they loved and had ever known felt their joy and smiled. Frances knew that Lizzie would always be near to help him, and he was very, very grateful. Thank you so much, Ruth. This is my book, Eternal Love. It's a first of a series, and everyone can reach me on rosaliebkahn.com. I'd love to hear from you. And I would like to thank you for arranging this uplifting event during so much chaos in the world. Be safe. Thank you.